kommer alle her, if you're going to speech give it my first thing y'all from Neva. And what I just spoke was Dutch, which is the same language that the Amish use. And what I said was I will be giving a speech over my first 5 years of life. Now the Amish live a very simple life, but not a very easy one. All they do is follow the rules of the Amish church and they'll be just fine. It's much like a teacher handing you an assignment and telling you to complete it, and if you don't, you'll kind of look silly. You lose your grade and you're on the bad side of the teacher. So in the same way, a bishop of the Amish church gives you the rules of the church and expects you to follow them. And if you don't, there's a consequence as well. So that's kind of what I want to be talking to you about today. I was born and raised in an Amish home, and it's not really the first thing I like to tell people, but when I do, it kind of raises up a lot of questions. And some of them I don't always have the answers to. So it's kind of why I want to be talking to you today about the Amish life, is not only to give you some answers, but also to find myself in it as well. So I want to be talking about 2 main points. I want to be talking about some of the rules that they have and also what the Rumspringa years really consist of. So let's take a look at my first main point. Rather than worshiping in a church, they actually hold their services in their own homes, and they especially build their houses large so that it can accommodate large numbers of people. That's according to Jamie Frater of this verse. And according to Michael Howdman, a founder of Got Questions Ministry, the Amish get the rules from the Bible, but it's a bishop who interprets them and really sets the rules for the church. And so in James 1:27 it says, and to be unspotted of the world. And also in Romans 12:2 it says to no longer conform to the patterns of this world. And so the Amish interpret this as no longer being worldly. And so what does worldly really look like? To them, it's not dressing immodest. It's dressing in the long dresses in dark colors, and covering their hair, and not wearing makeup, not enjoying the modern conveniences of electricity. And so another way that they like to do this is by the way that they dress. And so I actually brought a covering with me, and this was actually my mom's. And they wear this over their head to cover up their hair, obviously. And then men can only have buttons on their shirts and pants. Zippers are not allowed. I'm not sure why, but they're not allowed. And Amish women cannot wear patterned clothing or jewelry, and so when they get married, they actually don't have rings. The men start growing beards after they get married, and that's according to Jamie Frater as well. And now, as far as schooling goes, they only go up until 8th grade. Now, some of you may have already heard of that. And the reason why they do this is because they really like to stress and emphasize agriculture. So as soon as they get out of school, they like to start on the farm and get right to work. And so if you violate any of these rules, you may be shunned, and some of you may have heard of that as well. And so shunning is a form of excommunication, and it only happens when you're a part of the church. So being a part of the church is when you get married in the church. So now that we looked at some of the rules, we can now look at Rumspringa, which is kind of the good stuff. That's like our age kids in the Amish lifestyle. Rumspringa translated to English literally means running around. Now this starts at the age of 16 and ends when you get married. It consists of experiencing the English lifestyle. You can buy a phone, maybe buy a car. You can dress in the English clothes, and you can try smoking and alcohol, and you go to a lot of parties. And when they get married, they actually are no longer involved in Rumspringa. And so when they get married, they have a very big choice to make. Either they can stay Amish or they can go to the New English lifestyle. Now I want to conclude by sharing my own personal experience, but first I want to review. And so we looked at what the rules are, and I didn't quite cover all of them just because if we did, we'd kind of be here all day. But so we looked at some of the rules, and we looked at what Rumspringa really is and how they kind of experience freedom in their own sense. And so when I grew up Amish, my parents decided to leave when I was about 5, and so they had gotten married in the Amish church, so they knew they had to be shunned. So it was really hard for us to go through, but like I remember in kindergarten, my friends wouldn't talk to me. They were Amish, and they wouldn't talk to me, and I asked them why, and the only reason they gave me was because their parents told them they couldn't. So it was kind of rough on us, and especially hard on my parents, but has also greatly benefited us. And if I asked people if they ever thought I used to be Amish, they would have said no. So thank you.